Dialogue is one of the best ways to engage with the ideas of other people, so that it can stretch and challenge and engage us with each other. And we're being very purposeful in calling it dialogue rather than conversation. And conversation can be marvellous, wonderful, but conversation generally goes in lots of different ways and doesn't necessarily and doesn't very often come back to a central theme. Whereas dialogue has that central theme, it has that direction, that purpose, that focus, rather like a river meanders round, but it always ends up at the sea. And dialogue meanders, but it's got this direction towards an answer. What dialogue in the classroom ought to be about is that exploratory talk, and that's exploring ideas. Not about who's saying it, but about the ideas themselves. It uses questions, very, very thought-provoking questions, to help us move forward in that subject matter, in that concept.
It's a great vehicle to develop critical thinking, because it allows, as James says, the learner to look at things from many different perspectives, to weigh up the pros and cons of different arguments, and to come up with their own understanding, their own meaning and their own conclusion at the end of the dialogue. So in that sense as well, it not only broadens thinking, but it deepens thought processes.
And what we've got here is, look, here are some strategies to make dialogue even more central, even more possible. So it's not you losing control, it's not you saying, oh, what are the students going to say here? It's, look, here are some fantastic ways to structure dialogue to help you to move your students further and further and further on and develop that rigour.
With a great sense of achievement, because you've worked through it. It's not a conversation that has gone in any other direction and it's just been easy. A good dialogue session requires a great amount of effort in terms of thinking, in terms of listening, appreciating and evaluating other perspectives. So you get that eureka moment sometimes at the end, or sometimes you're just left with so many questions that still need answers, which is great as well, because you want the learner to go away with that sense of they want to find out more, they want to continue the learning process.
In fact, one of the phrases we use in the book that we like is, not all of our questions will be answered, but all of our answers will be questioned. In many ways, feedback is not about what we give. It's about how it's received and, more importantly, how it's used. You know, the old saying of two friends talking and one says to the other, I've taught my dog to whistle. The other one says, wow, that's amazing, let's hear him. And the dog goes, woof. As well, I thought you said you taught your dog to whistle. He said, I did teach him. I didn't say he'd learned how to. And this idea that, well, I've given you feedback, so you should know it by now. Well, yes, you did give me feedback, but I can't remember what you said, or it was at the wrong time, or it was for the wrong purpose. And there's so many reasons why that feedback might not be very useful. So really what we've done with this book is turn that idea on its head and say, so the quality of feedback should not be judged according to what is given, but according to how well it is applied and used afterwards. One of the aspects that we talk about is also the timing of feedback, because so very often in school we leave feedback until the very end of the process. So our students have finished the task, finished the activity, and then we give them feedback. And unfortunately, it's very often too late then to be of very much use to students. And I know we say, well, next time you could do this, you could do that. So we have to get feedback during the learning process. So we've created the 7 steps to feedback and how you can do it in a deliberate way to make sure the timing is right.
It also is essential that the students understand the feedback that's given to them. If they don't understand it, then they can't do anything with it, they can't apply it, and it will have no impact on the learning process or on the task that they're doing. So it has to be meaningful for the student so that they can then use it effectively.
Right at the heart of feedback, no matter what form it takes, it must be focused on 3 questions. What am I trying to achieve? How much progress have I made so far? And what can I do next to improve?